very similar to Slay the Spire. You get to choose. You make your own decks. You go through. You're not going through a map per se. You get to choose your quest. But if you play Slay the Spire, you'll fall right in with this one. Oh, it's on the Xbox now. Oh, that's cool. So, like Slay the Spire, whenever you start, you get to choose from three different things. Usually, one's an item, one is usually an upgrade, and one is something else, like a card upgrade. So, our item is Healing Vapors. If we choose it, basically, it heals us for that amount, and then it reduces each one. So, it starts off at 6, so the first round it'll heal for 6, then it'll reduce to 5, and then at the end of the round it'll heal you for 5, and reduce to 4, and so forth. That's what that item is. The next thing is allows you to upgrade a negotiation card. We'll see what negotiations are very shortly. And the last is an item. A negotiation, random negotiation item. So I'm going to choose the negotiator item. I don't know what it was. Oh, it's for additional negotiation slot. My bad. I misread that. Alright, so we're going to get work from Fish. I got people in my pocket who owe me a favor. Koth, Element, and Grex. They're easy people to find. So tell them I sent you and they'll settle the tabs by giving you work. Get that done and I'll get you a plate of Pop Oceanu eyes on the house. So like Slay the Spire, there's multiple characters. Currently, this game is in alpha, so you only get to play Sal, and I'll tell you Sal's backstory in a second. Bless your warty high, Fish. I'll hold up that. I'll hold you up to that. So, basically, all of these are missions, and they tell you what each of the missions are, difficulty. So this one focuses on combat. You have two different lives. You have your health, you have your resolve. This is for when you're talking to people. And then you have skills, shills, which is your goal. So anything that's combat will be things that are based on your life. Anything that's negotiation will be based on resolve. And then sometimes you get some of them that are both. Fish, yep. Awesome style. And it works very well for the animation that they do. Fish does, she gives you basically drinks. Or food that will replenish your health or your resolve. But each of those have negative side effects that add cards and that waste spots. Typically in these card games, some people play it differently. Some people like to have a small amount of cards. So they want to have, at minimum, maybe 30 cards at most that they consistently cycle through. I like to have big pools. I don't mind big pools. So right now, here's all of our information. So basically, the character that we're playing, Sal. So in this world, everybody, you either work or you're a slave to basically corporations, businesses, and so forth. So our character Sal was a slave to this one piece of shit woman, and the whole point is that she kind of messed up in her businesses. So she couldn't keep up with her businesses, so she had to sell stuff over. So she let Sal over free. So Sal's now a mercenary, and now there's a bounty on our owner's head. So before we could go and claim that bounty on our head, we have to, of course, level up, get people to help us, because if we were to run in and try to take on the main boss, we would most likely die. So right now we're running around doing little missions, trying to get our shill up. Try to make good relationships with people and do what we need to do. I'm not sure how many days there are. It might be like 5 so far. The most I think I made it to was either 3 or 4 days. It's a very difficult game. But it's still a lot of fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with a combat one first, and then we'll see what we can do. Okay. So, traipsing through the roadside brush, you find 2 dead bodies slumped against a partial dug grave. So this is like I was saying in the Slay the Spire, where you get those options. One of them still clutches what looks like to be a valuable coil gun. So we could try to pray the Aerostat coil gun gain 2 Bonus damage for every card this turn. Expend means that it disappears once you do it for that battle. You can only use it once a battle. And replenish means that when you draw this card, you get another card too. Finish the burial, depart with a clear conscience. So if we choose nothing, our resolve goes up to 40. Or we could try to take this this gun. What do you think, folks? Should we try to steal this item, or should we bury the dead with their items and allow our resolve to go up by 4? I'm leaving this one up to you. Bury. Okay. Okay. Do you agree, Payne? Should we bury the dead body peacefully? Or should we rob it and take this gun? You lost me at the intro? Oh, okay. Well, you come across the dead body. Do you want to rob the gun from the dead body, or do you want to be or do you want to bury it, basically, with all of its findings? It's a morale question. That's what it always comes down to. These are always usually morale questions. So, Two Beards says bury, so let's bury. Alright, you spend some time finishing the burial job, leaving the bodies with their possession. Your conscience is now clear. We got 4 resolve. And we will leave. Alright, so we were going to travel insurance. So we need to talk to Koff. This smuggler has a reputation for negotiating steep fees for his services. Perhaps the origin of the Havarian phrase coughing up the cash. Okay. Koff nods in acknowledgement of your presence. Well, it's a start. Okay, so let's start the mission. I heard you're in need of a hunter. You heard right. I got a big delivery today that's going to make my courier the target of every bandit in Murder Bay. So if you go over it, it'll tell you Murder Bay is a small patch of coastland in Havaria where the Deltrian Admiralty has established an outpost. So I want you to go with him and keep him and the delivery nice and safe. Alright. So we get 50 shell. We'll get to upgrade a negotiation or a battle card at the end of it. And we get to get a free card that we get to pick. So we'll accept it. So, like Slay the Spire. Oh, just kill the body. Nah, they're not going to say that. It doesn't work. The game doesn't work to that extent, though. I mean, that would be cool if they did, but it doesn't. So, like Slay the Spire, what happens is you get presented usually with every mission with 3 cards. You can not take the cards and you can just take gold instead. Or shill in this game. The top here is the damage. So when you see the fixed damage in the black, that means this does 2, this does 3, and this could be random, it's RNG. It could be anywhere from 3 to 5. And the number in the top in the corner is the cost. Typically you only get 3 points every turn to do stuff, so you want stuff that costs either 0 or 1. So this will do 2 damage, but we got to discard 2 cards. That doesn't seem like a really good ability. Return to your hand when played. Game 1 combo. So you play this, it comes back to your hand. You can play it again, it comes back to your hand. So basically you could consistently keep dropping 3 damage. Not a bad card. But I like this one. Anything that allows me to do damage and then also gives me a shield is a very good card. So we're going to take this one. Yep, you got it, Beer. You got it, Payne. You and me thinking the same. Tackle. Alright, if it comes to it, the courier is worth more to me than the delivery. But the client probably won't agree. So good luck. He's like, hey. Hey. He's like, hey. Alright, so what we also get with this is we get the chance to negotiate. So this is when our resolve comes in, and this comes into we get a set of different cards. So we're going to negotiate. So his resolve is 10. So I'll explain to you how negotiation works. So our resolve is this. That's our points that we had here. When our resolve is gone, no more talking, basically, right? So the point of this is to try to get more money out of him. Each of these are money. So we have to do 8 points of damage, 5 points of damage, 2 points of damage for either 75 shield, 40 shield, 16 shield. So basically, we're trying to get more money out of him. And the way that it's not really fighting, you're talking to him, but you're doing damage with speaking, with convincing, whether it's you're a fast talker and you're complimenting, or whether you're aggressive and you're insulting. That's basically how this system looks at. So there's two different types. The green are basically fast talks, compliments. The purple are ability cards, I guess you could say, and the red are more aggressive cards. In this center right here tells you what damage he's going to do. So he has 4 damage. So he's going to do 4 damage to us directly, to our resolve. And then he has another one, another argument that he's going to deploy next turn. We don't know what it's going to be. So right now composure is basically a shield. It blocks our resolve, blocks us from taking resolve. So we get 3 points of action. So we could basically play any cards that amount to the total of 3 if you count the number in the top. So what we want to do is we want to get this down. So let me think. So we can improvise. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to cast this Sal's Instinct. This allows us to do one thing. We can do inspiration or give them an attitude. In this case, we're going to choose inspiration. It costs nothing. So that's going to do 2 damage to this. And now we get inspiration. So what that does now is where our card here would only do 1 to 3, it's a guaranteed 3 damage now. So we're going to do that. That's going to knock him down to 3. So we're still trying to get that 75 shield. Now we can improvise, but what I want to do is I want to play deflection, which is going to give us a shield of 3. So our resolve only takes 1 damage. 4 minus 3 equals 1, as you can say. So we'll end our turn. You're not half as convincing as you think. So he sends it back to us. So now he's going to do more damage, but we don't know what he's going to do, because now he has this crafty. So that means we can't see what he's targeting and what argument he's going to target, basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to have fast talker on this, because as you can see, so remember this was 75, now it's down to 56. So it's going down every turn. So we want to knock that down as quick as possible. And the next thing we want to do is we want to fast talk this. And we want to hope that we can get at least 2. And we got it. So now we're getting up to 86 shields now for this bargain. So we're going to end our turn. He's going to attack an argument, which was our positivity. So now we don't know what he's going to cast again. We have a lot of things we could do. So I'm going to cast this. And we're going to say, so we could say gossip, right? Which means that he has to target that instead of targeting us. Or I'm going to go with vulnerability, which means that he takes more damage for 2 turns. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to threaten, and hopefully we get 5 on this. Yes, we got it. So we got the most shields that we could get, which is 95 extra. So now what we have to do is basically we had to do 9 points of damage to him to end this conversation. I don't care about this right now because we're going to attack him directly. So now we're going to end it, and now we need to do 5 points of damage to him. He did 6, he did 8. Woo! He's taking us down from that 40. Alright. So we should be able to do it in these 3 turns. Although he has 8, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do this, and we're going to inspire. Takes his shield out, and then it's 4 damage directly. Conversation over, and we get $95 extra for completing this mission. You're all probably very confused by this. So now we get to choose a negotiation card that we want to add to our cards. Gain 2 influence. It's not bad. I want to draw an extra card. Yeah, conversational battles, yeah. Fine, I'll give you 95 extra shield if you finish. So now that brings our total now to 145 shield. You better not fail us. So sometimes when you talk to people, they give you the ability to eject patrons out. And what that basically means is people in their shop or their bars or whatever. And that comes into the combat part, because sometimes you may fight a person, they may have like 4 or 5 people with them. So if you can convince them to eject some of these people out of the bar, then you can reduce the amount of people that you're basically fighting against. It's a lot of little strategies in this game, the way it works. So we're going to go here. So we need to talk to Kelk. It ain't easy being as big as Kelk and still making your way into bars. In fact, you think you've seen a couple of Kelk-shaped dents above the door at the Grog and Dog. That may explain the sour look on Kelk's face. Aye. You the escort? It'll be fun to see how long you last. The last one only made it a week. Encourage your words. I'm sure we'll be fine. Let's go. Let's get going. Alright. So now we gotta deliver him and get a fight. Yeah, you can say type your idea, Pain, if you want to. Alright, so now we're gonna travel. Stop it right there. Kelk is a wanted criminal. We're taking him in. Whoa, hold up. I was just hired to do a job, and I need Kelk to do it. If so, how about this? The bounty is 125 shill. Pay it, and we'll consider a fair trade. All right. So they want us to pay them $125 for the bounty, and they'll walk away. So we have multiple ways we can handle the situation. No problem. So if we had the money, we could pay it, and we could avoid this confrontation, right? And now we could fight this person. There's only one person. Fanda's only one person. We could fight them. Or we could convince them, hey, back up. We're good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convince them to back off. Listen, we're just going about our business. Just look the other way, would you? And why would I do that? So now we're in conversation. So when you have characters, they actually add things. So Saw added in Fluster reduces resolve damage by 33%, reduced by 1 at the end of Fonda's turn. So it goes down each one by 1. So it reduces their damage, which is good. So if we do 1 compose, we take no resolve, 3/3, right? So first thing we could do is we can improvise. Let's add on to it. So now it's 3 turns that they do limited damage. And we're going to threaten them. 1 to 4, and we did 3 damage. And then we're going to move on. So now... So she has this ability, Abuse of Power. At the start of Fanda's turn, except... Well, give me a second. What's that? Give me one moment. Sorry about that. Might be a second. About plans for tomorrow. Oh no, everything's fine. It's my mom calling probably about plans tomorrow. We have to clean out her house tomorrow. Not my mom's, but my grandmother's. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. We're back. Okay. So this person, she's doing a lot of stuff, right? So she keeps giving us this every turn. So it says when this argument is dismissed, deal 2 damage to the owner's core argument. Oh, thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Payne. So what do we want to do? So we want to dismiss this. This does 1 to 3 damage each turn, and we don't want this going. This keeps going consistently. So we're going to do this. We're going to go with influence because that's what we had the most of, and we're going to deal this 2 damage, which stops this. Then allows us to do 3. And then we'll compose ourselves for 3 to reduce any damage to any of our resolve. So we have our argument of influence still going on, which will boost all of our green cards. So that's basically what that does. So it says Fanda has her doubts, which is normal. So we have this. So if we do this, Fanda will steal 10 shields from Sal each turn, right? So we're going to stop that. Basically, she's trying to store money. We're not going to allow that. The next thing we need to do is she's going to deal damage to this. So let's improvise real quick. We're going to put out a rumor, which will take 3 of the damage. Take 2 of the damage. That means we would take 1 resolve if we choose to block it, which we're not. And then what we're going to do is we're going to threaten her for hopefully 4. Yes! 4 damage. And then we'll end our turn. So we're going to take 1 to our resolve. Which sucks. Wound up taking 2. I forgot that when rumor fails, it goes back to this. So now they're attacking our influence. Now I could block that, or I could do more damage. So they're down to 10, right? So we could do 1 here, right here, and then we'll deflect all but 1. This will go down to 3. And now we've convinced her. Because all we have to do is threaten her. Does 2, and then fast talk, which is the 3. Apply 3 composure to all your arguments. Beautiful card. That's a good card. Here's how it's because the bounty is not going anywhere, but right now, Kelk's under my protection. So you can fight us both now or wait until he doesn't have an armed escort and try then. Fair point. Fine. You can go along your way. Thank you for seeing things my way. You and Kelk leave Admiralty. So Admiralty is basically the military, the cops for Murder Bay for this area. And then Kelk is who we have with us. That's Jake Stockhead. He's who we're accompanying us. So we'll leave. So they stopped. So now we'll go here. What can I help you with? Koff sent us. We have a delivery for you. I thought you might be. Can't be too careful though. Kelk hands the package to Anawar. Anawar places a sack of money on the table. So we could take the money and leave. Or we could fight her for 40 extra shill. In terms of negotiation. I'm greedy. Oh, and there's transportation fee of 40 shills. Yeah, we're going to go for that. Since when? Since now. Alright. So our goal is to take out her. So the problem with merchants is every time you deal with them, they wind up attacking your money, basically. So they give you cards that basically cost 10 shill to cast. So yeah. Yeah, they suck. Yeah, they really suck. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this to give us an extra that basically gives us an extra action next turn. We're going to gain composure. We're going to threaten them. We're going to end their turn. Alright, so they threw a kickback at us. Man, if we can only improve this. Hopefully we get 4. It was only worth 1. So we could do 2 to 5. It costs us 10. We're adding 40. So I'm going to cast that. We lost 10 shill, but we're gaining 40. So it's a gain of 30 shill.